All right. Give it up for Tim. Ballers are doing a hard thing. Like, having done this for the last couple of years with the Spiders, who are, we're the youngest team out here. We're the young guys on the block. It's really, really hard to get a team up and running. So, huge shout out. Before I start kind of talking about the Frisbee side of things, I also wanted to say a really big thank you to President Tom and to Shannon and to really the whole club. It's been a few months since I've been able to make a meeting, so it's been wonderful to see everybody, and I just really, really appreciate that the club meets you where you're at in life. And that message has really, really come through from top to bottom. So I'm super glad to be back with y'all for today to talk a little bit about the Spiders and to just get reconnected. So really, really nice to see everybody. Do I got some slides? Sweet. Before I jump into things, and I promise I'll keep it brief. I hope that we get some time for questions for Tim and I about sports in Oakland, Frisbee specifically, maybe baseball specifically. But show of hands if you've heard of Ultimate Frisbee before. Okay, show of hands if you've heard of the Oakland Spiders before. All right, we're getting there, we're getting there. So yeah, Spiders, we are similar to the Ballers, similar to the Roots. We really are trying to be focused on community here in Oakland. The team was founded in 2014 in San Jose. We played in the American Ultimate Disc League, which is now the Ultimate Frisbee Association. That's the name of our league currently. I started playing for the team in 2016. And was doing that up until COVID when we got canceled and had a change in ownership, at which point I was able to come on board kind of as a part-time general manager. And we're fortunate enough that the city of Oakland was the first place, Oakland Unified was the first place that was gonna let us kind of resume play. So in 2021, I kind of brought the team here to play over at Oakland Tech on kind of a temporary, we weren't really sure what was gonna happen basis. Had an amazing experience. Of course, Oakland was incredibly welcoming. The fans were behind us the whole way. And so I tried to work with our ownership group to officially relocate to Oakland in 2022. And we've been here ever since. As I said, we're a really, really young team. And for us, that means we want to try to focus on the next generation of athletes in Oakland. We want to get people excited about Frisbee. I started playing in college, totally fell in love with the sport. Actually learned it up at Skyline in PE classes with Coach Beam and Coach Salazar. And it was just an amazing sport because it taught you, obviously, the teamwork, but it was all self-officiated. We have this culture, this identity called spirit of the game, where at every other level except the professional level, players make their own calls. So if I think that somebody fouled me, I'll call foul, and then that player and I will talk it out, whether we think that it was a violation or whatnot. So we are trying to take that concept of spirit of the game and infuse it into our game day experience, into the programs that we're doing with Oakland kids. So we've been running after school classes, we've been running summer camps. Last year we had a brief partnership with Oakland Unified to do a middle school league, and we're able to bring some kids out to our games. So that's how I think we're gonna kind of continue to try to grow our sport. Along with the spirit of the game side of things, it's just been a phenomenal sport because it's incredibly accessible. Similar to the Roots in soccer, like you only need a Frisbee to play. You don't need any special equipment. You don't need any special field setup. You can play it on a beach. You can play it on a field. You can play it indoors. And at some of the highest levels, it is also a mixed gender sport. So we have boys and girls playing at the same time. So again, for all these reasons, I'm just obviously super, super invested in it. And it's been a privilege to kind of work with the Spiders to try to bring that here to the town, right? So thank you for moving on to my next one there. We are currently playing our season right now. So we have a 12-game regular season that generally runs from late April through July, with playoffs in August. Last year, unfortunately, we just missed out on the playoffs. I'm hoping we can get there this year. We play over at Fremont High School in Oakland. For those who have been over, it's High Street and Foothill. They have a beautiful new field. It's the right size venue for us because we are young. We're a little bit smaller, but we had our home opener this last Saturday against the Los Angeles Aviators. We beat them 20-17. Spiders. Beat LA. And we had over 700 people come through the gates. So we are starting to grow, we are starting to get a little better. And so I wanted to come today just to share kind of where the team is at and why I think it's a great thing for Oakland. And really to ask if you are looking for something fun to do with your family, please come join us. We actually have our next game. Well, actually let me get my next slide before. So stay tuned for when our next game is. But obviously, I talked a little bit about the culture of the sport. Just again, for those of you who are unfamiliar with it, it is a 7-on-7 team sport. We play it on an American football field. I was hoping, I don't think that link for highlights, I don't think that's gonna work. But we have a bunch of highlights now on our YouTube channel and on Instagram and Facebook. But for those who haven't seen it, it's a 7-on-7 team sport on the field. Goal of the game is to score more points than the other team. You score a point by catching the disc in the other team's end zone, just like football. If you catch the disc in the field of play, you can't run with it. I keep saying disc because for the longest time we couldn't say frisbee. Now I can say frisbee. I'll tell that story some other time. If you catch the frisbee in the field of play, you can't run with it. You have to get a pivot foot, like in basketball, and then you have 7 seconds to throw it. If there's a turnover of any kind, play continues back and forth up and down the field until somebody scores a point. So lots of running, lots of athleticism, big plays left and right. You can kind of see that's our guy Walker catching one over LA last year in our home finale, which was incredible. So yeah, super family-friendly games. Kids 12 and under get in free for all of our games. At halftime, they get to come out on the field. They're catching passes from the players who are not rostered for that game. We've got our kids zone, similar to the Ballers. We've got a couple food trucks, the DJ, the whole thing. So if that's what you're looking to do this summer, now we can go on to that next one. You've got an event for tomorrow night. Our next home game is actually tomorrow night over at Fremont. It's going to be at 6:30. We are playing the Seattle Cascades, who are supposed to be improved this year. It's also our educator night, so if those of you who are involved with academia or educators in any kind of way, they get in free with school ID. So we're really excited to try to celebrate the educators in our community. It's something that we do every year with our home games. And I'm particularly excited about tomorrow's game because there's a major youth tournament in Stockton this weekend. And one of the teams that's going to be participating in that tournament is the national team from Mexico, the Baja Sunset. So they are driving up from Tijuana tomorrow, and they're going to join us for the game. So we're going to have about 45 of their players and families. So we're expecting about 75 international players and families. So come check it out if you're around. Really appreciate it. Otherwise, that QR code that was on the slide with our next game will take you to our website. We're at Oakland Spiders for all the social medias. We're oaklandspiders.com for tickets. And the QR code that is mentioned, or excuse me, the 2024 Rotary 3 will get you a discount on any tickets for this season. So we've got games, we've got another 5 home games coming up this summer. So thank you. Does anybody got questions? I don't know if we got time.
You got a Frisbee right now?
I don't have a Frisbee right now. I did not bring one with me, but I can get you one.
Thank you, Jackson. Both of my sons would play with BATA, Bay Area Disc Association. Do you guys partner with them and the youth organization that works with students, kids to do Ultimate?
Yes, absolutely. So there are a handful of really phenomenal nonprofits that work with all kinds of different organizations, but Bay Area Disc Association is one of the biggest ones. We have partnered with them in the past. Our philosophy on the youth side of things, so the Spiders, we do have a nonprofit as well, the Community Web. I think of us as kind of like that first touch point for kids to just get involved with the sport and realize like, oh, this is professional, this is like a real thing, I can go do this. So what we're generally focusing on is top of funnel, K through 3rd grade, and then once they fall in love with it, once they see how much fun it is, we do try to say, hey, go check out BATA. Right? Another great organization, if you happen to hear about them, is Ultimate Impact. They started in San Francisco, have expanded to the East Bay, and are focused primarily on BIPOC communities and getting kids from underserved school districts involved in Ultimate, again, because of the accessibility side of things. So they've been a phenomenal partner for us. It is starting to get bigger. Berkeley High School has won state championships the last couple of years. The Cal Ursa Major men's team is just qualified for nationals. So I'm sure many of us have those hobbies, those interests that we get into, and then you find out it's this huge, giant world behind it. Frisbee is very much the same thing. So if you do happen to get involved with it, I bet you're going to find somebody or 2 or 3 people in your lives that you're like, oh yeah, I've done that, or I've played this before. So I can't say enough great things about it. Hey, Allison.
Thank you, Jackson. I've always wondered about the game because I've never actually seen it played yet. I want to go tomorrow night, though.
All right, we'll see you there. Yes, please check out the Oakland Spiders on YouTube. Like, that is definitely the visual that we need to show off the highlights.